I speak today concerning something that is sacred. It's not religion, it's not nationalism, but the inheritance of nature itself. America's wilderness, like these lands I'm standing on right now, are being sold from under our feet. This attack is being communicated through the guise of efficiency and home building. The amendment proposed by Senator Mike Lee, Republican from Utah, to the GOP reconciliation package for the House's One Big Beautiful Bill. It would effectively sell off approximately 3 million acres of public lands in America's western states to the highest bidders. In an era where the United States itself is being sold to billionaire private interest groups through congressional lobbying, just like this, to the machine surveillance and automation of our very lives that these senators probably don't even know very much about. We, my fellow Americans, are being subverted. The land proposed for sale in this bill by Senator Lee and other extremists occupying the seats of Congress would be sold for an estimated $5 billion. A farce and a blatant land grab by corporate America. These lands are currently sacred sites for those of us with growing needs for recreation in an increasingly digitized world. These include U.S. Forest Service lands, Bureau of Land Management tracts, and wildlife refuge areas, very close to where I'm standing right now. Some of the most treasured public use lands in the world. All of this land is owned by the federal government, and by extension, you and me. These are communal lands. We all share and have a shared responsibility to protect and preserve these lands as our forebears have. And this is a task entrusted to every citizen, especially those that commit their lives to forest service, ranging, and wildlife preservation. Thank you. These lands are natural wonders to the entire world. Tourists visit them from every continent so that they may witness our majestic landscapes. President Trump and his allies would have you believe that federal ownership of these lands is unnecessary, that they bloat the federal budget, and the maintenance is contributing to budgetary deficits. But allow me to elucidate these claims for those that may believe the lies told through the lens of libertarianism. That tourism is worth billions of dollars annually. That's cash circulating in our local economies. The sale of the National Forest Pass, America the Beautiful passes, and various recreation permits, combined with trailhead fees, amount to a conservatively estimated $400 million per year. That's passive income. If these programs plateaued today, meaning no tourism or recreation revenue growth, and inflation stagnated for the next decade, which we all know is not going to happen, then that $5 billion would be recuperated in under a decade, just from recreation fees alone. That isn't speculation. It's mathematics. This isn't policy that they're proposing. It's theft. And you don't need to be a business master to see it. This country, America, it's not going broke because we have too many Forest Service members, too many rangers, or too much public land. It's going broke because of Washington, D.C.'s reckless, unsustainable spending and misallocation of funds. It's fiscal incompetence of the highest order. And the Senate will not be allowed to come for our public lands because it is unwilling to stop the spending that enriches elite politicians scheming in the nation's capital. This federal government owns about 28% of the lands in the USA. Compare that to Canada's 89%, or China's 65%, or Germany's 48%. They would have you believe that the federal government owns too much land. Too much federal land ownership is a big government initiative, and we want to scale down centralized power. The best part, we need more land to build housing. Bullshit! You wish to expand centralized power, and that's what this is about. Our nation's parks being enriched by a Nestle factory, siphoning our tributaries just like this for profit. They want to sell you bottled water filled with microplastics that congregate in your brain tissue. You wish to see these forests logged and cleared so that your sponsors can dig at the earth, sift the gold from our riverbeds, and harvest precious minerals and metals to build a mechanized technological overlord. Maybe you don't realize it. But Americans don't want our rangers and Forest Service members fired to save a few dollars. $5 billion for 3 million acres of pristine public land? That's a drop in the bucket of the federal budget, recuperated within several years of Forest Pass revenues alone, not to mention the incalculable revenue for the small local businesses located near these wondrous sites of North American beauty. These senators and this president would have you believe that in order to make housing more affordable for young Americans, that we have to auction off our public lands that our parents and grandparents have held intact for us and our progeny. They're fools. If you wish to increase housing stock, turn to your cities where the lands have already been raised and terraformed for civilization. Build skyward, as Americans have always done to increase population density and affordability. Do not attack nature, God's heaven on earth, to appease the wants of your avaricious oligarchs that fund your re-election campaigns. This amendment proposal is an affront to all Americans, whether they realize it or not. Some of us, I mean a small sum, believe that all lands should be private, that the very existence of publicly owned lands is for commies and socialists. My friends, I should not have to tell you that these are extreme views, and inside their libertarian extremist world, we would have no publicly funded police or fire departments that are accountable to the public. We'd have no publicly owned and maintained roads, no publicly funded and accessible school systems. This is the conquest of corporate America laid bare for all to see, its insatiable hunger for more never quelled. But outdoorsmen and women, nature's lovers, and common sense people throughout this country, this is a line that, if crossed, cannot be tolerated. These are our lands you wish to sell, and we do not consent to it. There aren't many issues that I would call the attention of my hardworking neighbors to. The task of raising our children in today's economy is difficult enough as it is. But this is one of those issues that directly affects everyone. Okay? Most of all, the children that cannot yet speak their opposition to this proposal, or the animals that have been dwelling within these lands for millennia and now risk being displaced by the long, greedy arm of corporate American private interests. This is offensive to the highest degree. 3 million acres of our land sold for $1,600 an acre? I can't get that price for pristine, untouched, developable land full of gold, other precious metals and minerals, rare earth minerals. Can you? Perfect drinking water flowing right through it? Does anyone want to sell me 20 acres of the most valuable land in the world for $1,600 an acre? No? Because I and everyone else, like me, has to pay over $80,000 per acre of land in Western Washington. Yeah, that's right. Fuck you, grand old party, GOP. Grand old scammers and sellouts. That's what you are. We have to make noise about this. We have to put the fear of election loss into the minds of these would-be politicians voting to support this amendment. I promise you, if it passes and this land is sold, the people will regret this decision for generations to come. This MAGA Republican Party that controls much of the U.S. government, they're sneaking a 3 million acre land sale into one big beautiful bill, using deception through the Senate reconciliation process and under cover of fiscal deadlines just before Independence Day, while you're distracted, probably camping on the very lands that they're planning to sell. It's not an accident. It's theft. They're selling our lands to their billionaire friends, sitting in fancy offices that we pay for over there in D.C. You're corrupt, and we must loudly declare them as such. Signed, William Donaldson, 4th generation Washingtonian, East King County, USA.